What it is that Anthropic's challenging, it would appear from the suit, is the department's decision to shift the contracts to others, essentially.
Yeah, and what we're hearing from Anthropic here in a statement is they're taking this step to protect their customers and their business. At the same time, though, they're telling us that they intend to pursue all avenues here to try to mediate this relationship with the government, including direct conversation with the government. So they're not foreclosing the continuation of talks here, but they are still pursuing litigation.
These actions are unprecedented and unlawful, the company said in the complaint that was filed over in San Francisco federal court. And they say the Constitution does not allow for the government to wield its enormous power to punish a company for its protected speech. What's been so extraordinary is the way in which Anthropic has continued to speak out against the government. Dario Amodei basically told us already he was going to go and do this.
That's right, yeah. They're clearly being outspoken and taking a stand on this issue here. They're not just taking this sitting down, but it's clear that behind the scenes the tone might be a little bit different privately, but they're looking for a resolution. They're also not looking to just take this, sitting down.
A part of what's happened in parallel, Seth, in recent days is that, OpenAI has negotiated with the Department of Defense, basically to come in. Do we know, what the status quo is now, what the latest is in where the department stands on its AI tool policy and who it's using? Yeah,
the last that we've heard is that OpenAI has been seeking additional protections and safeguards for some of the same concerns that Anthropic had previously raised publicly and privately. We don't know yet if the Pentagon has agreed to all those provisions, but it does seem that the tenor of the debate between OpenAI and the Defense Department has been much more civil in some respects than what we've seen with Anthropic.
But what about the reporting of how this is affecting those that work for the businesses? A lot of these companies say they're nothing without their talent, and we already know a key senior OpenAI leader in the robotics department has left.
Yeah, I think we're still waiting to see if there's a meaningful attrition from either or both companies as a result of the uncertainty and tension here. At the moment, yes, there was one high-profile example over the weekend, but we haven't yet seen others. And of course, we're still waiting to see on the customer side of things, are people rallying to the defense of Anthropic for taking the stand, or are they at risk of losing more business, even if they're not legally required to cut business with Anthropic? Might some still do it?
Seth, we're going back to a question that we've asked you and your team of reporters quite a lot recently. But do we have any sense of how important, from a financial standpoint, a deal with the Defense Department actually is to Anthropic or OpenAI?
Yeah.
Is it a major part of their business worth fighting for? Sorry.
No, of course. No, from a pure dollars perspective, it seems pretty marginal, at least at the current moment. The Anthropic Pentagon deal was worth up to $200 million, but our understanding from procurement records was that it was really just a couple million to date. That said, you have to think about how much it might have been over the long term, and again, the larger blast radius of customers who either legally might feel that they can't do business with Anthropic now, or just optically or for fear of pressure from the administration might rethink how much they commit. So that is much harder to quantify.
We've obviously putting all of this in the context of an actual war that seems to have erupted over the course of the internal dialogue that we're having between Anthropic or AI providers and the military in the United States. Is this something that is happening abroad as well? Is it something that is causing tension around use of AI in Europe and elsewhere?
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen it play out quite the same way as it has here, but I think that question of who has a say over this powerful technology, how much can the government dictate the way that it's used, and how much can they force private companies to sort of cow to that? I think that is very much a global debate. It's just taking place here in a more prominent way, and these are the companies at the forefront of that technology.